Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you can hear me over his loud purring. I just returned from a very long trip. I went to Spain to teach an art retreat, and then I had a little mini holiday. And ever since I returned, Akira has been very clingy. When I try to shut him out of my office, he just meows like crazy outside the door. It's like, don't worry, I'm not leaving. So I wanted to have a little casual video today, a little chat, because my mind is kind of swimming and I feel like I just need to tell you things and catch you up on a lot of stuff before I move on to a normal video making routine again. I just feel very scatterbrained, probably because of traveling. Well, definitely because of traveling. And I'm trying to get grounded again. But a lot is going on. There's a few things, a couple big things behind the scenes that some of you know. I'm not quite ready to share it worldwide publicly yet, but very soon I will. And no, I'm not pregnant. Never going to happen. Don't stop guessing that. Yes, my hands are full with you, aren't they? One thing I thought that would be fun to do today is a little mini art supply haul. So everything I bought in Spain. I didn't go too crazy this time, but I did buy some very special things and I'm excited to show you. Before we jump into that though, I have a very exciting announcement. Okay, time to go. All right, let's get situated again. It's very chilly here. That was one of the funny, or actually shocking things. When I left Scotland, it was around 12 C, and then got to Spain, almost immediately started melting because it was 25 to 30 C each day. And then in Seville, it was around 30, but it felt like more, at least for me, because Scotland is cold and rainy. And when I got back to Scotland, it was about 10 C. And then yesterday when we were golfing, it was 6 C. So my system is like, what is happening? So anyway, I have lots of shawls and warm things that I've been wearing nonstop. Okay, see, this is the problem. I get so easily sidetracked when there's so many things going on. So before we go any further, I want to share this exciting announcement. My shop, print shop, bookshop, whatever, is live. I am re-releasing a lot of prints and fun things. My books are on sale for the first time ever. I made this fun little print bundle pack, so you get 8 prints. A few of them are this size, and it's just some of my favorite paintings over the last couple years, some prints that bring back really wonderful memories. And there's also a couple little sizes in there. I call these trinkets. I think they're super cute. So there's a couple snow themed. And then I have this little guy, which is kind of like a bookmark. I actually have been using this as a bookmark. And all of that together is available as a little bundle. Of course, I also have my larger prints, which are on satin paper. These are A4 size. And as a bonus, I'm also finally making sticker packs. I have been showing these sheep stickers on my sketchbooks and stuff for years, and I get so many messages about where people can buy them, and I haven't had them up for sale. So now they're on the shop. I have them in these little packs, but this is an example of the size of them. And yeah, I have them on like everything. My water bottles, my sketchbooks. They just make me so happy. And I originally painted these. They're actually digital paintings. Some of you know I used to do digital painting. And I think I made these in 2018 or 2020, sometime around there, just because I wanted sheep on my sketchbooks. But I made fun ones, like this little guy in a Speedo, which is very random, I know, but yeah. Have fun checking those out. There's a few different, I think there's like 5 or 6 of them in there. I'm also releasing a few originals. These are all small originals. Hopefully you can see it. It's in a protective sleeve right now. but these are all little watercolors that I've painted over the years that I've kind of been hoarding just for myself. A lot of times I will paint these and they're very special places to me. They're very meaningful and I don't want to get rid of them. So yeah, my collection is kind of growing too big. So I decided I'm finally going to just start selling some of them. I very rarely sell originals anymore just because my primary focus is sketchbooks and I don't sell my sketchbooks. So there's a few of those up there for sale. I'm probably forgetting something. Oh, the sale runs until a few days before Christmas, but if you want your stuff to arrive before the holiday, please order as soon as possible. Also, everything is limited quantities. We are pre-printing and I have X amount of books, stickers, things that are already ready to go. The quantities are preset on the website, so as soon as something is sold out, they won't be relisted. I'm probably also going to throw in a free gift for the first 50 or so orders. So yeah, just letting you know, the sale is live. Everything you purchase directly supports me and my business and Wolfie and my cats. So we really, really appreciate it. And hopefully you can find some fun gifts for people you know, if not for yourself. Let's talk about Spain. I actually am going to do a whole separate vlog like recap of the retreat and my time in Spain, and just there's so much to share. I have like almost 1,000 photos and videos on my computer that I have to go through. It was incredible. That's how I can sum it up. Just like my France retreat, this one was an art retreat I did through UpTrek, and there were about 13 people because a couple people unfortunately couldn't make it last minute. So it was kind of a smaller, more intimate group, and well, I guess that's not that small, but it felt like it was, because by the end of the week, I felt like we all got to know each other and become friends, and we still text each other now. It's so much fun to meet people this way. I feel like when you go to a retreat or a thing, like an event where you're all passionate about the same thing, it's so easy to cut through the like small talk and kind of BS stuff that you might have to go through when you meet someone randomly in public. We were all there because we love art. We wanted to learn. They wanted to learn my techniques, my skills. I wanted to share those things, and we also wanted to explore Spain. And yeah, it was wonderful. So I'll be doing a whole separate vlog about that. Keep your eye out in the coming weeks for that. Until then, I wanted to share some supplies. I had to show you this though. This was my only casualty in my luggage. For some reason, these little ink bottles that I was using, I've used them in the past and they were completely fine, but this trip, both of the ones that I brought, an orange one and a purple one, it kind of lost integrity. They just completely emptied themselves. Luckily though, they were all sealed in a plastic bag on the way home, so it was wrapped in this paper towel and that kind of absorbed everything. Actually, on the way over there, I had everything in this little case, and this isn't the one, I have a few of these. And the orange bottle leaked a little bit, so there was like a big orange stain in the corner, but it actually kind of worked with the artwork, so I wasn't too upset about that. So during the art retreat, we didn't do any shopping or like art supply shopping in particular. But after the retreat, I had 3 days in Seville. And I'm trying to say that correctly because at first I was calling it Seville, but when I was there, people were saying Sevilla. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But I bought a few things, just things that purely reminded me of the feeling of being in Spain and Sevilla. And a lot of that came down to colors and patterns, because the city is filled with gorgeous tile work and mosaics. It just felt like every surface was dripping with history, with artistry, and there were lots of souvenir things that had these kinds of patterns. So all different styles, all different mosaic patterns, all different colors. But I saw a lot of tiles around the city with this blue color. And orange is like, I don't know if it's the color of Sevilla, but oranges are very prevalent there. There's orange trees all through the city, and obviously when they bloom or when they're ripe, the whole city smells like oranges, and there's a lot of orange themed things there. So of course I had to get something like this. And this is actually an ashtray, even though I don't smoke. But what I realized is it's actually perfect for a brush holder on my desk. So when you set it down, it has like grooves in it, and you can fit the brush on it and it doesn't roll around. I visited 2 or 3 art stores while I was there, and I didn't really have anything in mind except I wanted to keep everything small and portable and try to stay under 200 euros, which may sound like a lot, but I also use art supplies as my souvenir. Like I don't buy lots of tchotchkes or like random souvenirs that I don't use. I like art supplies. That's how I connect with a place and how I like to remember it. Oh, and I also got this tray, which just made me so happy. I love this fun, colorful mosaic, and this is specifically for being an art tray or a pencil tray or pen tray on my desk. So the cool thing about this is that colored pencils or similar fit perfectly. So they won't roll all over my desk while I'm working. Speaking of colored pencils, I did pick up a few water-soluble colored pencils. This is not a medium I use all the time. I do prefer to paint, but the few times that I have used them, I love it. I'm like, why don't I do this more often? But I think the main thing is that when I'm in a painting mood, I want my paint to flow. When I'm in a drawing mood, I am typically using like ink, maybe markers or something. So this is kind of like an in-between. And my time with water-soluble colored pencils kind of ebbs and flows. But look at the colors I got. These are all colors that remind me so much of Spain, especially, well, actually all over Spain, but Seville, there's a few pops of orange in there and yellow. The blues that I see everywhere, which one of the wonderful things about Spain was how orangey and browns and reds and earthy tones were all over the landscape, and then the sky was this gorgeous, vivid blue, and that complemented each other so well. So I had to get a couple blues, and some of these I chose specifically for the name. Like this one is Pink Flamingo because there are flamingos where we went. We saw flamingos from a distance, and that was really cool. Then we have Lapis Blue, Golden Sun, Tangerine, of course, Lemon, and Malibu. I'm excited to use these whenever I feel like I need a pop of sunshine in my life. Winter in Scotland is very long and difficult, and so I think these are going to be an awesome way to brighten my mood. They are also kind of a departure from my usual color selection, because I usually go for more earthy tones, more muted tones, and yeah, these are just fun. So I just browsed freely, and I kind of tried to look everywhere that I could within the stores. I found a lot of things I wanted, but I held back on getting because I was, again, trying to stick to a budget. Honestly, I don't remember why I bought this. The only thing I can think is that a lot of the buildings were very like pastel, beigey, pinky. There were a big variety of stone colors there, but this is a color I saw a lot on the buildings. So I was thinking I would do like a base color of this and then paint on top of it with other colors. And also, I don't think I've ever tried this kind of marker before. It's an Eco Line. It's technically water soluble, so you can paint with it, I guess. I'll do a little swatch obviously for you, but this one is called Beige Rose, pink beige, and it just matched a lot of the buildings I saw. So maybe I will do a little test painting at some point with this and my new colored water-soluble colored pencils and see if I can revive that feeling of being there. By the way, I did look for gouache in all of the art stores I went to because that's definitely a souvenir I like to find. There was only one store that had gouache, at least that I could see, and that I did ask the people there. Anyway, there was one store that had it, but it was a giant pack of like tubs of gouache. I honestly don't even remember the name of it. I remember when I saw the packaging, I was like, oh, I know that brand and I don't want it. Plus, they were big tubs, and so you could only get it as a set, and I was just like, there's no way. First, I wouldn't use it. Second, it would just fill my suitcase. So unfortunately, I couldn't bring back any fun gouache, but maybe next time I'll go to a different city and see what I can find, because I'm pretty sure there are some gouaches there in Spain that I can't get here. But then I found the store that I spent the most time in. I had searched on Google for stationery or anything similar to that, and it took me to a pen shop, basically. This place was magical. Honestly, I spent around 2 hours there, and then I left and I actually went back. But I could have spent all day there. Just everywhere you look, there was something magical to see. There were so many cool trinkets in the window, and every pen that I have seen online, I felt like was in that shop, and even pens I had never seen before. I wanted to try everything, but this place was so busy. Like when you went in, there was barely any room to like turn or move around, let alone space at the desk. And there were only a couple employees working and they were constantly helping people. So they do let you try things there, but if you go at a busy time, it's kind of difficult to do that. However, I spent loads of time browsing and considering my options, but as soon as I walked in, I was like, I'm buying a pen as my like main art souvenir for this trip. And I do have quite a few fountain pens at this point, but I like to use them all for different things, whether the nib is different size or maybe certain ones work on certain papers better. And I will also put different colored inks in different pens so that I can quickly switch between colors as I'm drawing outside. There were so many gorgeous pens that were tempting me, but one display kept pulling me back. And I had just purchased a Kaweco Sport, which I think I showed in a previous video for my little like portable drawing board setup. Let me just get it out because I'm talking about it. By the way, I did bring this with me. This was like my main plein air bag that I used, the Etcher Nano, and it worked out great. And these are the supplies that I used, just various pens and pencils, which you've seen in most of my videos. But this is the pen that I bought before I left. It's the Kaweco Sport, and I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correctly, but look how cute it is. I just love this little guy, and it's so lightweight. It barely weighs anything, but I love it because it fits in my pocket, my purse, my wallet. Like it literally can go anywhere. And if I just feel like drawing with ink on the go, this is now my go-to pen. So anyway, I kept going back to the display, the Kaweco display, and there were so many gorgeous options, but the one that kept drawing my attention was a metal purple. They had a couple different colors, but the purple one was so pretty, and I was like, okay, if I ask to use this pen and I love it, I'm buying it, even though it was quite pricey. Although I did later check the prices compared to what I could get it for here, and it's the same price, so it didn't matter. But it was just one of those things where it's like love at first sight. So obviously I bought it. Long story short. And I don't know if the cases are all this color or if it's just because the pen is purple, but it comes in this lovely little case. And look how beautiful she is. Okay. The camera is going to struggle to focus probably. In every lighting, she shines. It's a little bit heavier because it is not plastic, which I like. I like the sturdiness of this pen. I like the weight in my hand. And because it's a little smaller, it just is nice to have that reassurance that there is something in my hand. And the nib is a very fine nib. It just says F, so fine. But it writes so smooth, even on my textured watercolor paper. I did already own purple ink that fits inside this, so that's what's in here now. Kind of works out well because the color of this is purple, so it matches the ink color. But it just makes me so happy, and I'll do a little swatch so you can see how it writes, a little close-up. But yeah, look at how cute. Do you ever just like sit and stare at your pens and play with them and fidget with them and just, it makes you happy? Yeah. The other fun thing they had in that shop were black wings, and they had a whole selection of them. Special edition, limited edition, and I've been using the Blackwing pearls for a couple years now, and I love them. This one is known as being very balanced. It's not too hard, not too soft. I love it for all of my drawings before I paint because it doesn't like smudge too much. I also have the number 17, which is a little bit softer, I believe. It's a little darker. And the fun thing about this one is it has these like measuring markers on it. So sometimes you can use it outside to like measure, line things up. So I didn't want to get those ones, obviously, but I had to get one that definitely made me think of the fun colors of Seville. I had to get a pop art one, and this is the 292. I'm going to put each of these in a different bag or a different case so that wherever I am, I always have one to use. And then we have the Blackwing 602, which is kind of a boring one, but I think this one is a little softer. It says, half the pressure, twice the speed. So in case I want to do anything a little bit darker. I did get a few gifts from a couple of the attendees at the workshop, like these fun little guys. This is like a brush holder or a pencil holder, and you put it on the desk and your stuff doesn't roll around, so that's fun. This little measuring pencil, which I always love a good ruler. And probably the most important, best art supply I'm leaving Spain with, and the attendees of the workshop will understand why. It's a pencil sharpener, shaped like a cactus. Once again, I forgot a pencil sharpener. This happened in France too. The first day of the retreat, I was looking for it and I was like, I really don't want to admit this, but does anyone have a pencil sharpener? Because I don't. And someone brought this, so thank you. It's like honestly such a fun souvenir because it also has that memory tied to it. Did I show this yet? Lastly, I got this teeny little watercolor block. This was also at the pen shop, so they did have various papers and notebooks and all sorts of stuff. And I've never tried this before. SMLT art, but it's 100% cotton, watercolor paper, cold pressed, and it's just a cute size. It's a little block, so it's not a sketchbook. And I thought this would be really good for when I'm out doing my quick little sketches in winter, because when I go out in winter, I maybe have a half an hour before I freeze. So I keep things small. I love these colors together. Like that is just so cute. So pretty. This one feels similar to some of my nicer big pens. Like this is a metal. Oh my gosh. Okay. This isn't anything to do with Spain or anything, but this is probably the most special pen that I own. It's a limited edition Lord of the Rings themed pen, fountain pen. And it has engravings all over it. It's a beautiful angled nib, and it writes so smoothly and beautifully. This is my precious. But I don't take it out of the house because I'm too clumsy, and if I lost it, I would be devastated. It also came with this amazing shimmery green limited edition ink. This one is called Verdant Voyage. And it was actually a Kickstarter that ran all through last year. And there was like a Gandalf themed pen and ink, a Sauron theme, and then I got the Hobbit or the Fellowship one. So it was a green theme, and obviously I had to get that one. Okay, so I think that's it, because I could seriously go on and on and on about art supplies. I will be showing you my full sketchbook tour, everything I painted while I was in Spain, in the next video, which will be the Spain vlog. Patreons, you're going to get that early. You're going to get the sketchbook stuff early, as usual. But I think the next time you see me will be the Spain vlog, so I'll put all that together because I did a lot of painting and lots of plein air. And I did finish the little mini sketchbook that I had started at the France retreat. So now that sketchbook is France and Spain, which is kind of fun. Oh, I forgot to mention one of the other things. On the way home from Spain, my luggage was lost because one of my flights was canceled because of weather, and I was stuck in Amsterdam overnight. Anyway, my bags didn't get back to me for about a week. And that included all of the sketchbooks that I brought, because for art retreats, I like to bring sketchbooks that I've made over the years to kind of show the natural progression. And anyway, it included my first plein air sketchbook. So like 2016. That one is like my most precious, I feel, because it's the beginning and it shows the progress over time. So when my luggage was lost and all 3 airlines and all the couriers I contacted, no one could tell me anything. I assumed everything was gone forever. Quite a stressful week. But it's okay, everything is here. And like I said, that little ink was the only casualty. And so if anyone has any advice for traveling with small quantities of ink, or like if you have a certain brand of vials or sample containers that you trust, please let me know. The only thing I have found to be completely safe with my little Nalgene 30 milliliter. This one is completely spill proof, and I've had it for years and it's been awesome. So, but I like having little amounts of different colors so I can use a dip pen and change it up. So let me know if you have any advice. Oh, that reminds me. I didn't even mention this. The other thing that I did in Spain, and I completely blame the lady that I saw in the airport, spinning yarn in the airport. The lady who sat next to me on one of my flights on the way to Spain, who was knitting the most gorgeous bag. I don't know what the bag was for, but it was so beautiful. And I also blame some of the attendees of the workshop. You know who you are. I kept asking questions, and by the end of the retreat, they were showing me how to knit. And all of that led to me going on a little yarn knitting shopping spree in Seville. Should I show you? Do you guys care about that? Okay, fine. Hold on. Okay, so I've got everything in this box because it was the only one I could find that fit everything. The problem with yarn in this house is that Akira is obsessed. And it's like the second he smells wool, he must have, and he must eat, and he must claw. So I was actually gifted the most gorgeous ball of yarn. I was gifted this by a neighbor. It is the most beautiful, soft, I have no idea what it is, but it's just like thick. Is this yarn or is this just raw wool? Like, is this already spun? I think it is. I guess I would need big needles for this. I still don't know yarn and knitting terms, but I'm learning. Is this considered jumbo or something? Anyway, the second Akira smells or sees this, he goes nuts and he wants. Me too, actually. Where am I going with this? Oh, so I have to keep all of my knitting and yarn and things in a box or in this room with the door locked. So let me show you what transpired on this trip. I wanted one skein, is that what this is called? To be something easy to knit with. And people told me that something of this weight, number 7 or size 7, it's acrylic, it's chunky, it's apparently one of the easiest ones to start with. So I was like, okay, cool, that will get me started. But then, as I mentioned, my luggage got lost on the way back, so I didn't have this yarn, and I didn't have the new needles that I bought. So as soon as I got back, I ordered a couple needles, and I dug through all of my craft supplies, and I found a very old ball, a ball of yarn. It was kind of chunky, and I knitted my first thing. So here we go. It's a little bit wonky, especially on the edges, a little bit uneven, but I think I actually started this 2 or 3 times and undid it. Is it frogging when you do that? Because my tension was way off. Like I started loose and by the end it was super, super tight. So I had to like undo it a couple times. Then I made the square nice and relatively even and like pretty tight. You can't really see through it as much, which I like, because this is going to be a coaster for my giant mug just in my office, because obviously Akira will eat it. And then last night I started knitting a border, and I don't know how to make it go all the way around in one piece, so I'm just doing like individual sides right now, but I'll get there. And yeah, I just thought the colors were really fun, because when this arrived, I realized I could finally add the border. So where am I at now with the story? Oh, I did buy a few more colors though in Spain. This one I thought was super fun, and it's called Wow by Katya. And I guess it's so that you can make a tote bag. I'm not really sure. It says that. But it's a size 5.5. I'll just show you the label because you probably know things. It's 100% cotton. It's nice and soft and feels kind of dense, which I like. But the colors are this beautiful gradient. I don't know if it goes even more pink inside because I can't quite see all the way, but I just loved that gradient. So I'm gonna try to knit my first project bag with it, because a lot of times it's helpful, what I've seen online, to have a bag of some kind with a drawstring top or a way to close it that you put your work in progress in, yarn and needles and everything, so that when you're out and about, you can just grab it and go and use it. So we'll see. I don't know if this is enough for that. I don't know anything, but I love it. And then I had to get a couple colors that once again reminded me of the colors of Spain as well as Seville. So I found these two, and this one is a beautiful kind of muted sky blue. I love this color. It's cotton as well. It has a smaller size. I don't know if any of this is showing up. Here's some of the information. Hopefully you can read that. But it's a very thin or like smaller weight, I guess, like very thin. This one is like a gorgeous buttery yellow, and I like these together, but I especially like these 3 together. So we have a bit of an earthy orangey yellow, a creamy buttery yellow, and a muted blue. And these 3, again, just remind me of so many of the tiles that I saw in the city. And I thought as a group, they would make a really fun something. Don't know yet. I'm really interested in knitting useful things. Like I have enough scarves. I actually love shawls. I wear tons of shawls and I can always use more of those. So eventually that's the goal. But for now, actually, as I was adding this border, I was thinking, how cute would this be if I somehow sewed this together and then it becomes my pen pocket. So like that pen fits perfectly inside. See the length? I didn't do this on purpose, but I thought about it last night. And yeah, then I don't know why my pen needs a pocket, but once I thought of that, I was like, it kind of needs it. So we'll see. The only needles I have at this time are Knit Pro and Clover Takumi Bamboo. So I have a couple circulars, and when I ordered these, I didn't know what size to get. I did go to a couple different yarn stores in Seville, but I didn't want to buy too much yarn because of space in my luggage, but I was really looking for needles, and because at the retreat, some of the women were saying wooden needles are easier to start with because they're less slippery. I was really looking for wooden needles, but the only ones I found in all the stores I went to were these. I realize now how small these are. Now that I have like tried it a couple times, I'm like, oh, having bigger needles would be really, really helpful. So then these ones are the ones I use to knit my little coaster, which I really like. 4mm, but if I want to use something like this, I think I'm going to need way bigger needles. So I'm completely open to suggestions. I've been watching YouTube videos nonstop about this topic because I want to inform myself. And the fun thing about this is that it's been a long time since I've been a total beginner at something creative like this. With art, I remember that the first year or so when I was like, what is a pigment number? What is gouache? And like those questions that come up. And now I know everything. No, I'm kidding. Now I know things and I just do it and it's second nature. Whereas this, like I don't know half the terms I need to know. I don't know what I don't know. And it's fun because I'm constantly learning something new. Like every time I watch a video, every time I do it, I feel myself like, aha, now I know that, now I know that. And it's like this really rewarding experience. Yes, it can be frustrating, but I know that'll pass. So I'm just having a blast with it. And I especially love this feeling of like knowing I'm knitting useful things. Like a couple other things I'm thinking I want to make are mug cozies. Like pretend this is a coffee mug and I make a jacket for it and it wraps around and it also has like a hole for the handle. I guess I could also do it for a cold cup. Like this could have its own jacket and then it would be insulated more. I love things like that. And I also thought maybe I could do a wrap with a handle for my metal water bottle. I also really want to make a thing, I don't know what they're called, but it's like a jacket kind of for my French press. Because when I make the French press, I usually get like 2 or 3 cups out of it, but it sits on the counter and it gets cold. So I was like, if I make a very thick, jumbo, like insulated case or whatever that I can just like pop over it, I can have hot coffee for longer without microwaving it. Yeah. And obviously now all of my pens need little jackets. I'm not opposed to knitting just pretty aesthetic things, but yeah, something about it feels more rewarding when I know I'm going to use it a lot. That's my journey so far. And now that is everything I bought in Spain, I think. I swear. Okay, now I'm officially ending this video. And I will see you all again soon. There's lots of fun stuff to come. So yeah, hope you're all doing well. And I will see you in the comments. Okay, bye everyone. The smooth paper? Yeah.